KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, it's Workers Meet.
Good morning.
Lantz, and this is
Bonnie Mathias.
972-647-1893 is the number. Bunch of stuff coming up. A lot of it's got to do with Walmart, because on June the 6th, Walmart stockholders have their meeting in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I don't know what our Walmart employees are going to do, but I'm sure they'll do something. They are planning a local action on June the 3rd. Now, coming up today, right this minute, Get Out the Vote is going on. UAW 848, people are gathering out there, and they're going to walk door to door, knock on union members' doors, and urge people to get out and vote.
That's right.
Starting 9:30 and going on till 1 o'clock, and that's at 2218 East Main Street in Grand Prairie. On Wednesday, the Fort Worth branch of the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans has its meeting at 1 o'clock. That's at Furr's Cafeteria, 3233 Altamere Drive. They're doing phone banking too, and I forgot to write that down. Do you know when the phone banking is? I think it's Monday and Tuesday.
Actually, I think, Monday.
Monday and Tuesday,
gosh.
at the Teachers Hall.
Yeah,
I think that's
at the
314
AFT Center. Yes.
That's corner Center and Bishop.
It's from 4 to 8. I do know that. So, and I forgot to bring that myself. I do apologize.
Well, the phone banking is another way to get union members out to vote.
That's right.
That's right. This has been a very successful thing. There was a time, and it wasn't so long ago, when union members voted just about like everybody else. They voted just about as often as everybody else, and they voted split between the different parties and the candidates about like everybody else. Today, union voters are a real force. They vote in much larger numbers than the general population, and they vote with the union's candidates because they know better.
Right.
They're better advised, better things are explained to them better than they are to just the people on the street. The National Nurses Union is launching a national campaign against something called healthcare restructuring. And their message, the union's message, is insist on a registered nurse. It's registered nurses who put the care in health care. The current form of this industry-wide restructuring is aiming to eliminate registered nurses. So the National Nurses Union is fighting that. So just one of the many battles that women are taking on. Do you think?
What are they trying to replace registered nurses with? I mean,
machines.
But
machines and people that are not trained.
Well, there you go.
They're trying to save money.
But you know what? This is like discount brain surgery. Okay.
Yes, it is.
You know, I'm not going to go online and look for the cheapest price to get my brain operated on, or my arm, or my leg. Come on.
Try to find somebody who knows what they're doing.
Well, you really would prefer that, I would think.
In hospital care, that's the registered nurse. 972-647-1893 is the number. We need you to call and make a pledge.
Yes.
Speaking of sick people, this
we're dying here.
Station needs your help, and
that's
so
right.
does this program. Workers Beat's been on just about as long as the station's been on, which is about 30 years. But we really need to prove that somebody listens and that somebody cares if we're going to go on. The station's canceled a bunch of programs because they couldn't prove that. They couldn't prove that somebody was listening and that somebody cares. So we have to prove it, and we have to prove it again and over again, because that's the way the world works, unfortunately. We wish it didn't have to have money, but we do. Want to thank some people who did send money since the last fund drive. Paul sent $75. That was pretty cool.
Oh, thanks.
And Kenneth, your friend from the communication workers. Bonnie Mathias is on here 3 times. I guess you gave 3 different donations last time. Well, you're down. You're listed.
Dang.
Elizabeth, Steve, Bradley, and Joshua all made nice contributions. This was last time, and they just gave us a list of who paid up. That's a lot more important than who pledged. But right now, we're thinking that you need to pledge. You have 3 months to pay your pledge. So, like, if you've got $10 this month, then you can pledge 30 because you got 3 months to pay it off. 972-647-1893.
And we have all kinds of really good premium items that you can get for your pledge. For as little as $25, you can get some ballpoint pens or a Frisbee sport flyer, which is what Gene got. Yeah, you got a couple of those.
You get 2 of them for like $40.
$40, yeah.
Yeah, I gave
2
$50
for $40.
I'm letting them slide on that.
Yeah, and organic. We got coffee. We got the Big Thunder totes, sport bottles, sunglasses, ponchos. We
have sunglasses?
We have sunglasses.
I didn't see that.
Knon Ray-Ban style sunglasses.
I should have gotten that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That's $35, or you can get 2 pair for $60.
I may have to make another donation and get that.
There you go. There you go. And I'll tell you what, these ponchos, these Knon ponchos, these things come in handy.
Yeah, we're going to demonstrate on July 30th, and if it rains and you don't have a Knon poncho,
you're going to
don't blame me and Bonnie.
That's right.
Because we told you.
We told you where to get one.
Yeah.
You saw it here first. You heard it here first.
That's one thing I really like in the demonstrations when it rains. Of course, it's bad when it rains because it really
but
stops
everybody
a lot of
looks
people
the
from coming.
same. It's
but
awesome.
When everybody puts their ponchos on, it really looks cool.
It does.
You look mysterious and you look devoted and everything.
When we were out there in D.C. a couple of weeks ago, it was pouring down rain, and we all had on red CWA ponchos, a sea of red. There was about 1,000 of us.
That is so cool.
It was very, very cool.
You know, the Battle of Seattle, people continue talking about what happened in Seattle in 1999. And not a lot of people know that it rained that morning. And everybody had different colored ponchos. So you had like 2,000 members of the communication workers wearing one color. You know, the Teamsters had 3,000, I think, wearing another color. I think our color in the UAW was blue. We nearly always go for blue. I don't know why, but
that's funny.
The auto workers. Anyway, we had different colored contingents all through there. As the march went on, the rain stopped, but right at the first, when they were just doing the talking and everything in the stadium, that was pretty impressive. So get yourself a poncho.
Yeah, get a poncho, man.
How much do they have to donate to get a Knon poncho?
To get a poncho? Man, it's not much. Oh, $35.
Well, that's the cheapest we got.
Yeah, or you can get 2 for $60, which that way you and your significant other or whatever, you can dress alike. That's right.
So people may think you're crazy for demonstrating in the rain, but boy, they're going to think you're good looking.
That's right. That's
You'll
right.
Look good.
We got headphones and T-shirts and glasses, pint glasses that you can drink out of, backpacks, iPad case, coffee cups, you name it.
All kinds of T-shirts, including women's T-shirts.
Yeah, very cool women's T-shirts.
972-647-1893. Call and make a pledge. You can also donate online. You just go to knon.org.
That's right.
And look for the place that says make a donation. There's only one trick to it, and that is they don't ask you who gets credit for your donation. They just ask you what's your favorite program. So whatever you put for a favorite program is what's going to get credit for your donation. So please put Workers Beat, even if it's not true. Put Workers Beat because that way we'll get credit for your donation. 972-647-1893, and you can also just send a check if you want to. If you're really, really shy, you don't want to get online and you don't want to call the station, you can make a donation by writing a check and sending it to the station at 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, 75235. Any way you do it, it suits us. We hate to beg, but that's what it takes.
That's right. It's really important that, you don't hear about events like what Gene talks about every week. You don't hear about that on any other radio station.
That's a true fact.
We're planning this big rally on July 30th when Alec is here. You're not going to hear that on any other radio station.
No, there's not.
Believe me.
They're all getting money from those big corporations.
That's right.
Alec is a mouthpiece for it's. Daryl Sullivan had a good way of putting it. He said it's a dating service for politicians and corporations. When the politicians marry the corporations, they meet at the altar of this group called ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council, and. So since those corporations are donating to those other radio stations, you're not going to hear anything bad about Alec on there. But here on KNON, we intend to mention it every week until July 30th, when the big demonstration is supposed to take place.
And it's going to be
people are coming in from other states.
Yeah, I think we're going to have people coming in.
It's going to be a big deal.
It is. It's going to be a huge deal.
But you're not going to hear about it somewhere else, and you'll hear about it on the Workers' Beat, assuming that we are still on. So call us at 972-647-1893. We'll thank the people that have called already and made pledges. You have 3 months to pay off a pledge. You can also get a bank draft done. When you call here at 972-647-1893, Nell will tell you how to get a bank draft done, and you can get a regular donation that way. So you don't even know about it. It comes out of your check when your check gets deposited to the bank.
And you can do that. You can
it's kind of painless.
It is painless to do the monthly bank draft. It's totally painless, and Nell can get that set up. It's totally painless.
Okay, we were talking about women and how hard hitting it is. We're talking about how they're trying to get rid of registered nurses. Here's another little tidbit on women. On average, women 65 years and older rely on a medium income of around $16,000 a year, which is roughly $11,000 less than men of the same age, according to a congressional analysis of census data. So women not only get the short end of the stick all through their lives. When they get old, it's even worse.
We just get the shaft all the way around, so to speak.
So the big question in Texas, and the question that really the world is watching to see, is will Texas women step up and do something this year? Because it is so clear. One of the candidates has said that even if the Equal Pay Amendment gets, even if the majority of the Senate want it, that he's going to block it by himself.
Yep.
This is one of the candidates for lieutenant governor.
Which unfortunately, the way that that our Constitution is written in the state of Texas, he could do that as the lieutenant governor.
Yeah, he could do it.
Yeah.
But to come out and say in public, I would do this even if all the senators wanted it, that's incredible.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah, it's like saying, I spit on you.
I spit on you, you woman. Spit. Poo, poo.
Never have women's issues been so clear in politics as they are in the Texas election right now. So everyone is waiting to see, are women going to step up or not?
Oh, I hope so.
Women lag behind men when it comes to financial security in retirement. We were just talking about that, and we were just talking about how they're trying to get rid of registered nurses. Who, some of them are men, but a lot of them are women. There's the issue of abortion and health care in general. Women's clinics are being shut down all over Texas. And there's the issue of education, which is very clear. One side has been trying to cut it. One side has been trying to privatize it and voucherize it. The other side has been trying to extend it and try to get some money to pay for it.
To make it do what it's supposed to do.
That's a women's issue, too, because women largely care for the kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know when women's issues have been so clear. And the question is, are women going to stand up or not? You'll be hearing about that here on KNON, assuming that the Workers' Beat is still in business. 972-647-1893 if you would like to help. And we definitely need your help.
We do. We need your help big time. This is important to keep the lines of communication open, okay? Because you're not going to hear about this stuff on any of the other radio stations in DFW. You're not going to hear about it on TV because, trust me, the mainstream media is not interested in what we have to say.
Yeah. Another interesting thing about this year's elections is whether or not people are going to stand up for civil rights, because civil rights are being chewed away, being taken away from us right and left.
Bit by bit.
The black unemployment rate is currently 2.2 times higher than the white unemployment rate. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
2.2 times higher than the white unemployment rate. But there's a kind of an interesting twist to this. One reason that the black unemployment rate is so high is that there are more black people stay in the job market. White people have gotten out of the job market, and
just
black
given
people
up.
have stayed. Yeah.
Right.
They have persevered. We'll be right back. And now it's Saturday morning. That was Fats Domino singing, and we love that. If you want to keep Fats Domino singing, make a pledge. Call us at 972-647-1893. We were talking when the break came on about how fighting for civil rights is an important part of this year's elections. They have been discussing, and they were discussing on Reverend Barnett's show before we got here, and it's been discussing all over the country, that 60 years after the Brown versus Topeka decision on school desegregation, the schools are still segregated. Did you know that?
Well, yeah. I mean, all you have to do is kind of look around at the schools and walk through or drive through an urban school and see what the majority of the kids, what nationalities they are.
Yeah, they have used every dirty trick they could to make it look like they desegregated. Well, in fact, they went right on desegregating. I noticed this back in the 70s, and I was teaching school, and they were building some new schools. They had a bond proposal up to build some new schools, and I noticed that they didn't put those new schools in the area between neighborhood groups. They put them in a square in the middle of the racist division of neighborhood schools.
Sure.
And, of course, people were glad to get a school in the middle of their neighborhood, but it was clear that they were building schools in spite of the desegregation laws, and they have continued to do that.
Yep.
By this time, you'd think 60 years later, most of the schools have been built since then. Mm-hmm. So if they had have built those schools in between neighborhoods so that they would have integration,
they'd have kids from both sides of the tracks, so
they
to
would
speak.
have had segregation a very, very slow way, but they would have had it. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that.
Nope.
Instead, they went right on with segregated schools, and what makes me more embarrassed about America than anything else is that they got away with it.
Yeah.
And
it's not like it's sneaky. It's done sneakily, snorkily. It's sneaky. It's underhanded. It's like the Trans-Pacific Partnership stuff. Uh-huh. You know, everything is a secret.
Yeah, until they hit us right over the head with it.
Yeah, and then it's too late.
972-647-1893. Call us, please, and make a pledge. Keep us talking about workers' issues and things that matter to working people, because it's worthwhile.
That's right.
If we don't do it, who is going to? That ain't nobody else.
Nobody else, that's right.
I would like to say, oh, well, we got the competition, you know, that's busily shoveling out the truth and telling things that are going to help working people that are breathing down our necks, you know, and be asking people to please donate to us to keep us ahead of the competition. But that's not true.
No, there is no competition when it comes to what Gene and I talk about. And Reverend Barnett. And where else could you hear music like you hear after with Ranger Rita? Uh-huh. I mean, when the music starts when Ranger Rita gets here.
That's true. The station does a whole lot of unique things and contributes in a whole lot of ways. And this particular program is the only program taking the side of working people. A good example is this ALEC protest that's going to come up on July 30th.
Yep.
You are not going to hear the other stations, the TV stations, the newspapers, and everything get ready and protest and make a big noise about this. You're only going to hear that here on the Workers' Beat, and consequently, if you don't stand up to these people, they'll run all over you. The same thing is true of desegregation, which was supposed to have happened 60 years ago, didn't happen. They got
still
away
isn't
with it.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
reason is because of big money.
Yep.
As long as the big money exists, it's going to take over the political side. People think of economics and politics as being separate, but the truth is the big money buys out the politics all the time.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
At this time in the United States today, the top 1%, that's the wealthiest people, they own about 38% of the financial wealth in America.
Jesus.
Now us, on the other hand, the bottom 60% of the income pyramid, the bottom 60% own only 2.3% of all the wealth. So the top 1% got 38%. A tiny bunch of them got 38%. The whole big majority of us only own 2.3% of all the wealth in America. Because they're talking about a wealth tax. They'll never get it. They'll never get it instituted.
No.
But they are talking about having one, and it's very clear that that's what's needed. 972-647-1893 if you want to stand up to the 1% or the 0.1%. If you want to stand with the working people and the 99%,
that's right.
Those of us that are out here trying to make it, stand with us at KNON. 972-647-1893.
Neil has Randy on the phone.
Okay, does Randy make a pledge? Good morning, Randy.
Good morning,
What's up,
Randy.
KNON?
I made a pledge to another show, Dean.
Oh, good for you.
And you want to call us?
Reluctantly to the morning blend. I'm not that hip on the morning blend, but they tricked me, and I
Oh,
okay.
Oh, you're a victim.
So I got to follow through on it.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
I understand, Randy. What's up?
Hey, well, I was thinking about this. Everybody's talking about the Brown decision in the court 60 years ago, and integration in school, and how it was a dream that was supposed to turn out one way, but somehow it's turned out another way. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about that, and most of the time when we talk about that, we're talking about skin color, about how the African Americans still aren't getting the education, the inner city low income minority schools are still being closed down, while other ones in suburbs and richer white communities are being built and opened up and have great education programs, or better ones. And my thought was, you know what, it's really not the skin tone that's the issue here, but because what it is, it's the economics.
That's right.
It depends on how much money you have. So after this 60-year experiment that we've done here in America, what is the conclusion that we can come to at this point? Because did one ethnic group really expect the other ethnic group to be happy about the situation when they reached a supposed legal equality in education, where an immigrant or a minority student could go into the white school back in the 50s and 60s? Did we really think that the white community, or the more economically advantaged community, was going to just sit there and say, okay, well, legally now we're equal, so our economic status doesn't make a difference, and yeah, we're going to stay in the school here? Did we really expect that, or did the outcome that has happened, where the more economically advantaged white community moved from those schools and established their own? So my question is, do you think at this point now we should, because the African American community in America is the 10th wealthiest ethnic group in the world, do you think now we should finally realize that, look, America's never going to economically integrate, and we somehow need to, because we do have the connection to the internet and the same knowledge that they have, is just being able to get it to us. Are we going to have to go to where some wealthy black people or wealthy ethnic group people are going to have to finally say, look, we got to build our own schools and quit worrying about integrating and educate our own kids, because integration is not going to do it for us?
So you want to give up on, you're questioning whether or not we should give up on desegregation?
My question is, should we find another alternate route other than desegregation? Because somehow it hasn't worked for 60 years, and I don't see that it's going to work in the next 10. Because what it's somehow allowed to do is wealthy people, it's allowing the experiment that hasn't worked out over the last 60 years of desegregation is somehow allowing now the wealthy people to try and close down public schools, period.
That's what they're after. That's what they're after.
I'll hang up and listen to somebody else.
All right. Thanks for your comments, Randy.
Okay.
972-647-1893. While Randy was talking, Charlie called made a very nice donation.
Thank you, Charlie.
Appreciate it, Charlie. And Charlie should have stayed on and
talked to us. Mm-hmm. Is he shy? Maybe that's why. Maybe he's shy.
If you know Charlie, he's not shy.
He's not shy? Oh.
972-647-1893. Brother Charlie is nice enough to call and make a pledge, and we hope you will be thinking about it, too.
Please.
This is the program that supports and promotes working people's point of view. And we were talking about how school desegregation has failed. The reason that it failed is because that was not what rich people wanted. Rich people are running things by pulling strings and doing things behind our backs and sneaking up on us and using the fact that they control the media to tell us it's rain when in fact they're wetting on our heads.
Yeah.
And they manage to get away with the biggest lies possible.
Yeah.
If you ever read that book, 1984,
oh my gosh,
you see that by controlling all the information, they can get away with saying almost anything.
That's right.
And one of the things that they say is that America's achieved all these wonderful things, that we're the people are better off here than they are anywhere else, and that people should shut up and enjoy it. But the truth is, things are not that great. Switzerland is heading to the polls on Sunday to vote whether or not to create the world's highest minimum wage.
I think they're voting to make like it $25, right?
It would be $25 an hour in Switzerland.
As a minimum wage?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you mean somebody...
tomorrow.
And it's already quite high.
Yeah. Well, it would be $25 an hour and $4,493 a month. That would be the minimum wage in Switzerland. So here it's $7.25, right?
Yeah.
And they're arguing over whether or not to raise it a little bit. Vermont will become the 7th state to enact a minimum wage increase this year. Vermont takes the issue seriously and will raise their wage to the highest for any state by 2018 when the law is fully implemented. The state's current wage of $8.73 an hour, which is what, $1.50 more
than what it is
in Texas.
The federal minimum wage, yes.
Uh-huh. And it will be increased to $10.50 an hour over the next 4 years, according to the AFL-CIO blog.
And you know when...
Congratulations to Vermont. That's where Bernie Sanders is from.
Yeah, he's my hero.
He's a lot of people's hero. Bernie Sanders is a senator. He runs as an independent.
Yes,
he's
he
not
does.
a Democrat or a Republican. He generally votes with the Democrats in the Senate, but he's an independent. And some people say he's going to run for president, and that would be exciting if he did.
That would be so cool.
He certainly has stood up for working people since he's been in public office. He was a representative before, now he's a senator. 972-647-1893. If you want to hear people talk in favor of raising the minimum wage, keep us on the air.
That's right.
Keep me and Bonnie talking about it, because the rest of them are not.
That's right.
You can tell pretty much what people's politics are just by asking them about the minimum wage. If they're for the minimum wage, they're usually on working people's side, and if they're against the minimum wage, they're on the boss's side.
That's right.
Because the bosses don't want the minimum wage to go
Joe.
up. Joe's online. Good morning, Joe. Thanks for calling KNON.
Hey, Gene, how you doing?
Pretty good. Glad to hear from you.
Oh, yeah, same here. Last time I saw you, that probation officer thing down in Austin, we went on there. What I was wanting to speak on, I get some echo in the back there somehow. Okay, seems to be better.
No, we hear you clearly. We hear you clearly.
All righty. The school situation, the argument, public school argument is not made very well, and I don't know why they don't stand up and state their case better. they are letting that 1% really take an unfair lead. When they talk about charter schools and public schools, they fail to point out that that's not apples and apples, that's apples and oranges.
That's right.
And the charter school that they praise so highly, they can handpick their students.
That's right.
They can, yeah. But the truth is, Joe, that the charter schools don't measure up to the public schools.
No.
No,
They're not as
don't.
good.
No, they don't. But they send that word out there, like you said, they can buy the voice and the media and what have you with monies, but they can pick their student. They pick good academic students. If a child has a disciplinary record,
they can
say, we don't want you. If you're too fat, too small, too skinny, too tall, they can say, we don't want you. The public school has to try to educate anyone you're seeing. I don't know of another institution in America that operates like that. Even if you're making widgets in a factory, the widget making factory can say, we want a certain type of wood, we want a certain thickness, and this type of thing. The public schools, if you send a child with one eye, a horn in the top of his head like the flying purple people eater, you have to try to take this thing and then turn it into a lawyer or a doctor, and that is not a fair measurement when you're comparing public school to charter school. But the public don't make their argument.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make the argument with anything.
Even with all their advantages, the charter schools don't score any better on the test than the public schools.
Well, then they don't have
score worse.
Your charter schools, a lot of them don't have football, basketball, this type thing. Now, the public magnet school there on Yvonne Ewell, I think they're on 8th Street. Mm-hmm. They have no basketball, no football. They only have a band, extracurricularly speaking. Mm-hmm. So you don't have the distraction. You can concentrate and focus primarily on academics. So it's easy to matriculate there because you're going strong almost exclusively on academics. And in closing, with anything, you follow the money trail and you find out where the bones are buried. Have a good day.
Thank
He's
you.
absolutely right.
That's right. Follow the money.
And the big money controls the other stations.
Yep.
This station here makes it on your donations.
Your donations. Our donations.
Yeah,
you know?
our donations too.
Right. And the donations of time.
And the fact that none of us gets paid.
Yeah, I mean, this station is 24/7, 365 days a year, which I find absolutely amazing, all done with volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you got to think about the numbers of volunteers, the sheer number of people to come in here and give this the time that they do. Mm-hmm. And we have 4 staffers, and we have bills to pay. Right. So that's why we need you to call us, 972-647-1893. And, you know, they got that big car show thing going on tomorrow. And I got some tickets to that, I believe. I got 5 pairs. So think about that. We'll talk about that a little bit when we come back from this break.
You know, speaking of good folk music, Ann Feeney's thinking about coming into Dallas.
Really?
Yeah, we would welcome Ann Feeney again. She comes here. She's
That'd
thinking
be awesome.
about coming and doing a benefit for the ALEC group or something like that.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, she's done this She's come on this program before. She was a lot of help when we did on our pledge drive. She believes in KNON, and
yes.
she believes in trying to keep this station on the air. She calls 972-647-1893 when she's in town, and
right.
we'll be delighted if Ann Feeney comes back. Let's see if Bill's online. See what Bill has to say. Good morning. Thanks for calling KNON.
Yeah, Gene. Yeah, this is Bill Betson. Glad to talk with you.
Hi, Bill.
And, well, how are y'all?
Oh, good. How are you?
Well, I'm, working on trying to get another step put in the validation process for the 48,000 petitions for signatures they allegedly received for home rule.
Right. I saw you on the news last night. I sure did.
Yes. Well, the issue is that there's very good reason to believe that only a very small percentage of those signatures even heard the word home rule before they signed that page.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a disclaimer on the petition that states that it must be read before the person signs the petition.
Exactly. and that has not been happening except in very rare situations. A petitioner came to my home several weeks ago, and I just kind of let her do her thing and listen to what she had to say. And she went all the way to handing me the form, which, by the way, I looked over so I could see which of my neighbors had signed so I could go talk to them.
Right.
And then I explained to her the facts of the case and how the things she told me were statistically incorrect. All they're doing is trying to say, do you want to improve Dallas ISD? Please sign here. And that's all they're saying. And who doesn't want to improve DISD?
Well, of course. We all do.
Absolutely.
But there's a right way and a wrong way of going about it, and this home rule, as we both know, is not the right way.
No, it isn't. And the good news is Brett Shipp now in Channel 8, he wants to talk to people who were misled by petition signers.
Oh, that's awesome, Bill.
Yes.
That's
and I've
great.
got his phone number, and if anybody would want to call, he's probably not there this weekend, but leave a message for him, because he wants, and if there are petitions, people who actually ran the petitions who are willing to fess up to what was happening, that would be great.
That would be really awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is the number?
And his phone number is 214-748-9631.
Okay, and that's Brett Shipp. He is a investigative reporter.
That's correct, with Channel 8.
Right.
Let me read it back and see if I got it right. 214-748-9631.
Absolutely, you've got it right. That is correct. And please share that with everyone you can think of. He wants to hear with them. He's trying to set up interviews for Monday, and he would just love to get this story and make it public.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much,
Bill.
Bill.
There ought to be plenty of people for it, because everybody I've talked to said everybody that signed it or even listened to the spiel has told me that they didn't, that the petitioners were just there to get signatures.
That's right.
They didn't give anybody any idea what they were signing.
Even if you witnessed it, if you saw a petitioner in operation and you saw that they never did that, we basically need to document the truth. Now, if this gets to a legal situation, we may be asking people to do affidavits of fact, notarized about what they observed or what was done to them. But we're hoping the trustees will do that. They'll do a random sample, hopefully 300 or more, and actually go out and ask them what happened when you signed the form.
Bill, let me put in a plug for people to make a pledge at 972-647-1893, and then let me ask you about this signature business with the people that are privatizing. Is it not true that the petitioners were getting paid?
Oh, yes, they were. That has
because the Dallas Morning News called them volunteers. Dallas Morning News said they were volunteers.
Right. No, they were not.
They were actually making pretty good money.
Do you have any idea what they were getting paid?
I've heard all kinds of various by-hour rates, all the way up to $15. And then the payment per petition, initially we heard it was $150, and then we heard $2
for a signature.
Even higher than that. But that's what the petition people themselves have said to various people.
This is another case, is it not, where big money is trying to buy something that is not good for the American people?
Absolutely. They're running democracy. They're buying democracy, which kills it.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. You work so hard, and I just adore you. You're awesome.
Well, thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate it. We all do.
Yes, we do.
You guys keep up your part. If we don't get together and get many more joining us, that's what we need.
That's right. That's
right.
You
can count on us on the Workers' Beat to stand up for the working people. 972-647-1893. Assuming that we are still here, assuming that the station has
Thank you so much, Bill.
We'll be standing with the working people on this issue.
Well, I want to thank Charlie and Joe for calling pledges in today. Thank you so much. That was very sweet. And you know what? I just got something, a news flash. The city of Portland, Oregon, has dumped their Walmart stock because they're not a socially responsible company.
I'm glad they figured that out.
I know, right? I don't know how long it took them to get to that point, but how awesome. I mean, that's great.
That is good.
That's really good. So, and Portland is a really cool city.
Yeah, did you hear that on,
really awesome.
You hear that on the other stations?
No.
The other stations are taking money from Walmart.
That's right.
You can be sure of it. And
we would do if they give it
the
to
ones
us.
that call themselves public.
That's right.
They're still taking money from Walmart, and of course we beg for it every time. We always ask for money from Walmart.
For them, yeah.
We don't get any, and the reason is because we're standing with our Walmart, the workers, the people who are doing all the work at Walmart. That's the ones that we're standing up for and standing with.
That's right.
972-647-1893 if you want to call and make a pledge. This is today is not only the anniversary of Brown versus Topeka, which was a big advance for civil rights in its day, and not only that, but in 1838 it was the first women's anti-slavery conference took place in Philadelphia.
Really? Wow.
Women stood up against the slavery issue back in 1838.
Before men even thought about it.
Yeah, that was 22 years before the
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Fought to end slavery.
That's because women are awesome. And, you know Margarita Alvarez. And
yes, I do.
She and I are convinced that if she and I ran the world, things would be much better. Actually, her husband, Jorge, told us that if she and I ran the world, everything would be fine.
Probably wouldn't be any wars.
No.
Although, I don't know, there are some women leaders that I would not point to and say that they were the greatest people.
Well, you know.
972-647-1893.
There's always got to be a few.
On this day in 1917, the Amalgamated Meat Cutters Union's organizers launched a campaign in the nation's packing houses, an effort that was to bring representation to 100,000 workers over the following 2 years.
Yep.
That's the great packing house fight. It was largely fought in Chicago in 1917. In 1928, on this day, Big Bill Haywood, a founding member and leader of the Industrial Workers of the World, died in exile in the Soviet Union. He had run to the Soviet Union because they were trying to put him in prison.
Why were they trying to put him in prison, Gene?
For standing up for the Union.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a crime in America.
Those damn Union thugs, let me tell you.
Eugene Victor Debs went to prison for carrying out the Great Railway Strike. And he also went to prison later on for standing up against World War I. So Union members have been persecuted, and we owe them a debt.
That's right.
Because they stood up. Some of them got killed. Some of them went to jail. Mm-hmm. A lot of them got fired. A tremendous number of them got blacklisted. Yes. And that was what got us where we are today. And the question now is whether we're going to be able to hang on to it or not.
Folks,
this program and this station will be on that side of history, on the one that says working people deserve more and not less. 972-647-1893. We'll be standing up for school desegregation. We'll be standing up for women's rights. We'll be standing up for higher minimum wages and for union rights and for the right to organize in America, even though one would think from the other media, one would think that those are not popular ideas. They are popular ideas because most people are the ordinary people like us.
Right, right. And, I've got a bumper sticker on my car. I've got a pin that I wear. If the 99% vote, the 1% won't matter. Y'all, that's all I have. I mean, we have early voting that starts Monday. Okay, mm-hmm. This is the runoff elections that we have here in Dallas County. They start, or actually it's all over the state. I think we have a couple of statewide candidates. I can't remember in a runoff. Mm-hmm. Honestly, yes, we do. So Monday starts early voting. You only have Monday through Friday for early voting this time.
Cut it back.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the voter suppression law took away Sunday voting.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so. The reason they didn't want it is because the black churches would use
buses.
Black churches used to take people to the polls.
That's right.
A lot of people that don't have cars, they would they would get to church one way or the other, and then they would use the church buses to take people to the polls. And I think that's why they were dead set on stopping Sunday as a part of early voting.
They didn't want that.
The whole idea of voter suppression is to get poor people to stop voting, so that the rich people will have more of an edge on us than they already have. On this day in 1979, an Oklahoma jury finds for the estate of atomic worker Karen Silkwood and orders Kerr-McGee Nuclear Company to pay $505,000 in actual damages and $10 million in punitive damages for negligence leading to Silkwood's plutonium contamination. You know, Karen Silkwood was killed while she was a union member. She was killed while she was trying to stop unsafe practices at her plant. She had gathered a bunch of materials to show that the company was unsafe, that they were letting people get contaminated with plutonium, and she was on her way to talk to a reporter when mysteriously
she had a car wreck.
In a car wreck, she was killed, and our side maintains that she was pushed off the road. She was just driving a Honda Civic, and a bigger car or truck could easily have hit her from behind and pushed her off the road. Anyway, she got killed. And I followed that. I went up there right after she was killed. I wrote about it and went to the trial and attended demonstrations and that sort of thing on behalf of Karen Silkwood. And to tell you the truth, I kind of fell in love with her, even though she was dead before I ever heard of her. But she just she was a hero. She
was. I mean, she really stood up to the big bosses and took a lot of hell. From her fellow workers and from management. She's one of those characters that just really stands out in the labor movement. And folks, we have to make sure this isn't, people say, oh, that's just about unions. It's just about unions. No, it's not. It's about all of us. It's about working folks. Union people have a collective bargaining agreement. I mean, that's what it is. It's a collective bargaining agreement.
It covers us all.
It covers us all. And in the state of Texas, you don't even have to pay union dues to get covered by it. And I strongly recommend you join the union.
I think you should pay your dues.
Yes.
But Texas has got this law that weakens unions.
That right to work for less thing.
ALEC, by the way, is this organization called ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, is pushing right to work laws in other states so that everybody can be as miserable on the job as people are here in Texas. So that's another reason to protest ALEC. Karen Silkwood went to her grave. Her parents won a big settlement because of the way that the corporation had treated her. I went to Crescent City where she had lived and where the plant was right after she died, and really you couldn't find anybody that would say anything nice about her.
Really?
You couldn't find anybody. I went to a bar, went to a restaurant.
And they all talked bad about her?
Well, they didn't say nothing unless you asked them, and then they would not say anything good about her, and I'll tell you why. They were scared.
Oh, scared they were going to get...
Karen Silkwood was the bravest person in Oklahoma at that time. And people, you can't deny that people are scared of their bosses. Nobody wants to say they are. They won't say, take this job and shove it. But the truth is, people are scared of their bosses. And nearly all the bosses are these rich white people that push the rest of us around and trick us and do everything dirty. Thank goodness for the fast food employees. The number of strikers went up by 4. They had 4 times as many strikers on Thursday as they did the last time they did this.
That's awesome.
The fast food strikers, not only did they strike in 150 American cities, but they had support protests by fast food workers in more than 30 countries across the globe. Standing up and saying we deserve $15 an hour and we want to get it, and everybody and the other people are saying, yeah, you do.
That's right. That's right. I saw pictures from all over the world. Sweden, oh my gosh, Germany, China, Japan. Oh my God, it was just incredible. That takes a lot of courage.
Yes. That takes a lot of courage. If you're working for almost nothing and you don't have any other prospects, you don't have a college degree or anything like that, and unemployment as high as it's been, and other jobs are even worse, than the one you have, And for you to walk out of a McDonald's and say, I'm on strike, even for a little while, is a very, very courageous thing to do.
Sure is.
And they deserve our admiration and our support. 972-647-1893. I think that KNON deserves your admiration and support.
Yes.
For allowing me and Bonnie to come on here and talk about working people week after week and do our very best to stand up and to get better wages and better treatment and
That's
dignity
right.
on the job. Those are things that most of us prize very much, but we mostly don't know how to get it, and for the most part don't have it. So
That's right.
The Workers' Beat is a part of your fight. Please make us a part of your budget as well.
Please, we need you. We need you to help us.
972-647-1893. It's about time for us to sign off, Bonnie.
It is already? Okay.
I hear the music.
All right, I hear the music. That
Get
means
out of
we
the way,
gotta
let
go.
Ranger Rita rock the world.
That's right.
By the way, I got 2 books here. If you make a $50 donation, you will get these books: Guide to Rethinking Interviews and Who Gets Promoted, Who Doesn't, and Why. So make a pledge and come on down.
That's right. We'll have the books here. You can pick them up here.
Next week.
See you next week.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.